This is the incline chest fly. First thing to remember is to make sure that you keep your palms facing each other as you come to chin level. To make it a little bit more interesting or recruit the chest more, you're actually going to turn the palms up and have the elbows coming together to get a tighter contraction in the chest. The band is going to be on the back foot in this scenario, but you could anchor it to the bottom of a door or a bureau or some type of piece of furniture that's not going to move. Okay, this is the shoulder pull-up. This is going to work the front of the shoulder and the side as well as the rear. Important thing to remember here is start with the palms down, and as you raise your arms up, the palms will be facing out. It's going to be basically a V formation starting from the front of the body ending at the top of the head. Make sure that you pause at the top there and exhaling as you pull up. This is the squat press, working the quadricep muscles in the shoulders at the same time. Important thing to remember here is keeping the toes straight up and down, making sure all the weight is in the heel of your foot and not the toes. What that means is you should feel like you're falling backwards slightly. Also remember to place your hands together in front of your face, not behind your head, in front of your face, so that you don't cause some type of injury to the back of your neck or shoulders. Standing bicep curl, this is just primarily just working the biceps on the arm. Very easy to do. In this position we're using both feet on the band to balance out the resistance. You can use one foot, you can use multiple bands, you can add dumbbells to the bands, but simply put, you're just going to move your forearms up so that your hands in front of your shoulders and working the biceps. Standing tricep extension. This is the opposite of the bicep curl. The most important thing here is to remember to keep your elbows in close to your head. So keep your biceps right next to your ears. Full range of motion. That means come all the way down to the bottom and extend all the way to the very top until you lock your arms out and hold in position just for a fraction of a second at the top of the motion. Exhaling as you go up in the movement. The squat chest crossover. This is an exercise that's going to combine a chest fly movement, isolated chest exercise, along with a wide squat. So you want to make sure that you're pulling the band with the elbows, and not so much with the hands, so you create more of a scissor-like action with the arms. On the squat again, the weight's in the heel of the foot and not on the toe. Sitting back as you squat down. The tricep dips pelvic tilt. This is going to work a combination of your triceps and also the hamstrings and glutes of your legs. So as you come up on the pelvic tilt portion of the exercise, very important to push the pelvis up or your belly button up toward the ceiling or the sky. Make sure that the weight is in the heel of the foot that you're resting on, and get a full stretch on the tricep as you do the tricep portion of the exercise. You can see here I'm bending all the way down to get the triceps involved and coming to a full pelvic tilt at the top of the movement. Right now we're doing a single leg version of the step-ups. You can certainly do an alternating leg version. A step-ups can be done on any chair braced against a wall, on the second or third step on a stairway, or in this case we're using a bench or an improvised step. You can do both one leg alternating or single leg isolated, always focusing on placing the weight in the heel. Squat pull down. This is going to work the glutes on the legs and back and tricep muscles on the upper body. The important thing here is to keep the toes pointed toward each other on the squat in close stance squat position. That means your legs are inside your hip gate. The arms are absolutely still or stiff. They're not bent at all, and I'm pulling with my shoulder blades as opposed to my arm muscles. I'm getting a full range of motion, exhaling as I pull down with the band. Wide squat rows, like the squat pull down, is a combination exercise, but in this situation my legs are wider than my hips, very wide with the toes pointed out, about 45 degrees. That's going to work my inner thigh muscles as I squat down in full range of motion. I'm rowing in here, actually bending my arms, so this is going to work the back and biceps muscles in the upper body, along with the quads and inner thigh muscles of the lower body. Just like before, you want to exhale as you're pulling the band toward you. And focus on squeezing the shoulder blades at the top of the movement here to work the back muscles effectively. Kneel down curls. You can see I'm switching the positions on the band. This would be at the top of a door with the door strap if you have it. If not, at the highest position that you can anchor the band. I'm kneeling down with the back leg, focusing on pushing up with the rear leg, curling to the side of my head or to my ears so that the fists end up at the side of my ears. Elbows are in very close and the arms stay up at all times. You want to make sure as you're doing the kneel down curls that you keep your legs or your front knee behind your toe. You can see that I'm not going anywhere past my toe in the front leg, and the arms stay up at all times as I curl. Exhaling as you curl in. Kneel down push downs is the opposite of the kneel down curls. I'm just working the opposite leg now, but instead of doing biceps curls, I'm doing tricep push downs, the opposite part of my arms. Keeping the elbows in close to my body, I'm only going to flex my forearm until they're fully extended down, or pushed down. You want to make sure, again, that the emphasis is on the back leg, that you're going up and down with the back leg and getting a full extension on the triceps by locking the arms out at the end of the movement. I keep my elbows in close and do not move the top part of my arm. This is the kneel down, push down. The kneel down chest fly. The important thing to understand about this one is making sure to keep the palms facing each other as you go up and down, working the chest and squeezing at the end of the movement here. Full range of motion, the kneel down. You can turn the palms up again. Kneel down tricep extension. Just another variation, again here, of the tricep extension done before. Keep the elbows in close to your body, full range of motion, full extension. That means lock your arms out at the end of the movement to work the triceps effectively. Okay, kneel down bicep curls. Same idea here. Main thing to remember about the bicep curl is to keep the elbows as far back as you can and only move your forearms forward. If you move the elbows forward, that is going to work your chest as well and your shoulders. Only the forearms forward. Kneel down pull-outs. Same variation here again. I'm going to emphasize on squeezing my shoulder blades together at the end of the movement to work my shoulder and back muscles, the opposite of the chest fly. Arms should be parallel to the ground. Transitioning right into shoulder pull-up, which is going to work the front side and rear deltoid muscles. So I'm going overhead in a V formation. The squat curl pull-ups, I'm just doing a pull-up and a bicep curl alternating back and forth. So essentially what you want to do here is make sure that you keep the elbows in and the arms parallel at all times prior to either pulling out or curling in. Resisted abduction, adduction. This is going to work the outer thigh or inner thigh here. Right now in this situation, this is an abduction working the outer thigh. You can see that I have the band anchored to my feet, hands to the side, and pressing in isometrically to the wall. The adduction, I have the band anchored to the wall, and I'm pulling out, working the inner thigh muscles here. Making sure to stay in a straight line in front of my body. Assisted low ab exercise. You want to just use the band here. I'm anchoring the band to the top position behind me. This is going to basically help me lift my legs up by taking some of the resistance off my abs. I want to make sure I tuck my chin to my chest, shoulders off the ground into a complete crunch position, and lift my legs up and down, 3/4 of the way down and all the way up. Another modification here is I keep the legs up, focusing on working my upper abs now, just using the shoulders and doing a pulsing movement. Hands behind, this is called a dual crunch, legs and arms moving at the same time. Once again, the resistance of the legs is modified with the band on your feet. So this allows more repetition. If I focus on bringing the legs up a little bit higher, it's going to work the abs, the lower abs a little bit more. When I have my hands to the side there, I'm going to press into my thigh with the wrist. That's going to cause resistance working my obliques as well as my lower abs. It's a combination exercise. The assisted upper ab exercise. You want to anchor the band up high once again. The feet can be neutral or secured underneath a piece of furniture or some other device. Essentially, when you have your hands to your chest, it's going to take the resistance of the upper body off of the abs. I can choke up on that band to take more resistance off or on as I continue with the exercise, which will allow me to get more repetition to work on my abdominal endurance. Without the band, same idea, I'm going to come 3/4 to halfway down. And in this situation, I'm twisting to work the obliques. I'm going to press my elbows actually into my knees to recruit the obliques a little bit more as I go up and down. This is just a traditional sit-up here. You don't actually want to go all the way down on that. Stair push-up. Just a modification of the regular push-up. By using the stairs, second, third, fourth, or fifth step, you're taking off the resistance of your body. So this will allow you to get more repetitions if you have a challenge using your own body resistance on the floor. The alternate grip here is going to work different parts of the chest. So it's another variation of the same exercise in the traditional push-up. Push-ups are very versatile. If you change the grip, you change the muscles you work. So this again is another way to take the resistance off to allow greater repetition on the traditional push-up. The close stance position here is going to work more the triceps. You notice my hands are not all the way in, but only up to the width of my shoulders. Keeping the elbows in tight will work the tricep effectively. Okay, once again, this is the tricep dip and pelvic tilt inside using a chair. So traditional tricep dips, just keep the elbows in close, full range of motion all the way down. Once you go into the dip part, you want to make sure you push that pelvis out as far as you can and stretch all the way down to get full range of motion and recruitment on the pelvic tilts. So picture your belly button going to the ceiling in this situation. Full range of motion. Keep the elbows in tight. The one arm tricep extension, this is another variation of the tricep extension. You're simply going to start with the arms behind your head. Important to get your bicep next to your head, not your head next to your bicep here. Full range of motion all the way up and down, not halfway up and down. Next, notice that my bicep is very close to my head. I have to pull the arm in to make that happen. This is a very good exercise for the back of the tricep. Door pull-ups. What we're going to do here is use the door strap that you can purchase online. Door strap will go into the door. Notice that I have a piece of rope through the door strap in this situation. Once it's secured, I'm going to place my feet against the door in a wide position, anchoring the door. Hold on to the door, or hold on to the rope here. Come all the way down, hang down into a stretch position before I pull up. I want to basically slide down, up and down in front of the door here as I'm doing the pull-up. If you get tired, you can actually use your legs to do a modified squat to help you pull up. Breathing out as you go up. This is going to be an excellent exercise to work the glutes on one leg and hamstrings on one leg. It's important here as I lean back into the squat, all the weight is in the heel of my foot that I'm squatting with. In this particular case, it's the left leg, but I'm using my arms to anchor my body so I can lean back. The assisted squat, same idea here. I'm squatting probably about 50% of my weight here, but I gotta lean back, keep my knees well behind my toes, just like the one leg squat. The figure skater or the Superman, essentially you're gonna balance your whole body on one leg with the arms and legs parallel to the ground. I'm doing a pulse here to cause a little bit more of instability as well as work my hamstrings and glutes. The anchored sit-up here, you just want to basically grip or hold on to something with your feet as you do a crunch or sit-up movement. So if you don't have a piece of furniture to put your feet underneath, you can actually grab something with the inside of your foot during any kind of abdominal crunch or sit-up movement. Assisted leg lifts, I'm actually just going to hold on to another tool, whether it's a piece of furniture or a pole in this situation. This will allow me to have more leverage to lift my legs and get more repetition. Twisting plank, this is just going to work the obliques and upper and lower abs at the same time. So traditional plank, you just want to hold in a neutral position. In this situation, I'm twisting to work the obliques along with the upper and lower abs and lower back at the same time. I'm going to move into the swimmer, which is the opposite of the abs. This is going to work the lower back muscles. I'm just alternating arm and leg lift with the head elevated. I want to make sure I raise my arms and legs as high as I possibly can and hold for just a quarter of a second at the top of the movement. Butt blaster, this is just going to do exactly what it says. It's going to work the glute muscles. I want to make sure I come full range of motion, keeping my legs inside my hip gate, and this is the half repetitions to isolate the glutes. Once I turn my toe out, that's going to work the gluteus medius, the top portion of the butt, therefore getting the complete glute area worked. On the stretches, we're starting with the back of the neck here, chin down to your chest. We're going to move on to the side of the neck by twisting the neck. The elbows are actually going to be facing behind you or pulled back behind you as you twist the neck. Now we're going to tilt the head and raise the arms behind you. Raise the opposite arm as far as you can up. Then that will stretch the side of the neck as you tilt it down. Opposite arm goes up. I'm going to transition right into a chest stretch here, interlacing the fingers, raising the arms up and leaning forward with the chest. If I point my fingers back in a neutral position, that will also stretch the chest out as well. Another form of a chest stretch is hands behind the head, elbows behind you, and lean back, opening the chest up. And this is going to be a warrior pose here, stretching the back and shoulder muscles. I'm going to lean to the side here to stretch my lats. And other side, making sure you have a tight grip on that fist and pulling with the opposite arm. Transition right over to a tricep stretch. Grab that elbow, make sure that the arm is completely bent. Lean to one side and then dip down. Important thing here is the full range of motion, that you bend the arm completely before you lean and dip. It's for the back of the arms. Moving right into the legs here, this is going to be the quadricep stretch standing. You're going to pull the instep back with one or two hands and arch your back so you're leaning slightly back into the stretch to get the hip flexors. And you can always anchor that to something else. You don't have to balance freestyle. If I lean forward here, sticking the hips out, chest over the knees, and pulling the toe back, that's going to get the calf, hamstrings, and hips all at the same time. And make sure to stick that hip out to the same side as the leg. Doing the opposite side here from the front view on the quadricep stretch. Make sure that knee stays straight down, pointed straight down as you pull it back. And on the hamstring here, notice I'm going to stick my hip out to the direction of the leg that I'm working. Hip goes out there, calf and hamstrings. Moving on to the hips and glutes. This is the glute stretch sitting down, ankle on my thigh or calf on my thigh. The heel is drawn into my butt and I basically push my chest right into my calf by leaning forward. The lying down version, very similar. I grab my ankle and my knee, push the ankle with the leg that is bent up into my leg, pushing it to my chest. I'm going to push that ankle into my chest by using the leg that is up and drive it towards my chest. The lying glute stretch, very effective. This is the neutral hamstring stretch, basically leaning forward, grabbing the bottom of your feet, calf or ankle. If you can, pull yourself down to get a little bit of a lower back stretch. This is a butterfly stretch for the inner thigh. You're grabbing the top of your shoe, essentially leaning forward. You can press down with the elbows onto the calf or inner thigh to get a deeper stretch. You probably won't need to do that. And moving right into a low back stretch here. I want to place my foot on the inside of my thigh, grab the outside ankle or foot or calf, and pull my face and chest to the outside of the knee here. A better angle here. You can see that I'm going to keep my right knee down and I pull my face and head to the outside by bending the arm.